Hey, so I figured I know a lot of people, mostly friends, honestly, like personal friends, and there's just been some, I guess, people I see every now and then that either don't know much about certain stuff about the game, or maybe they haven't heard about things about how to build teams, all that type of stuff. So, for starters, I felt like I'd just make a video, short video, maybe short, I don't know, kind of depending on how much I blabbered to myself, honestly, to pretty much cover the bases for when it comes to like building teams and some other little stuff, to not make it too complicated, but just to get like straight to the point. So for starters, one of my favorite cards in the game, just off card art, absolutely gorgeous, but we're going to the team part. So this is just the theme that I have. It's not like anything specifically. This is kind of the opposite of what you want. Yes, there are like a few cards here that buff each other. Mostly it'll be the two Gokus, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, Goku Black, and then the Kaioken Goku, stuff like that. If you're running off like Saiyan lead, I believe. But you also, the biggest thing you want to look out for. So what I'll do is I'll take these guys. So actually, wait, let's check something. So basically the best way to see how many buffs you're going to be getting per se is to go here in details. You're going to click on details and it's going to show you who's giving who buffs. So as you can see, out of the 6 people on my team, Goku is currently getting 4. So let's see, he's getting 3, he's getting majority, he's getting majority as well, and so forth. So what this means is basically what I'm going to show you real quick. Gonna go to ability, you're gonna type Z ability. So this is the biggest thing, I feel like, at least. I mean, it could also be just a fact in general, to building teams. So you're gonna want to go off this if you want overall like a bigger buff for your team, if you want to build a team around buffing each other, make each other more viable, things like that, to constantly give each other like higher HP, higher defense, all those other stuff. So for an example, sadly there's not many god key characters. If I'm not mistaken, there could be 3. So currently that's why I have my God Vegeta, Beerus, and my God Goku, is because they're all god key characters. So usually if I play, I use those 3 in particular. I should really build a team around those 3 and buff them anyways. So we're going to do that here. I'm just going to go more into depth about this. So for example, we see ability bonus 1136, basically just saying that's how much of a bigger bonus you're giving towards your teammates. So most of the time what I'm going to do is I'm either going to run God Goku, Majin Vegeta, or Broly, or I'm going to take out one of those 2 and run Gogeta instead, and then the other 2 Vegetas in the bottom are pretty much just support, just for the extra Z abilities pretty much. So could always be changed around. Could always have some different stuff to, buff 1 or 2 more people and make them more viable. But that was just something that I threw together for some of the cell game stuff currently going on right now, which I'll get to in a minute. But besides that, it's pretty much the same thing here. It's just pretty much covering stuff like that. What you're going to see though for the letters are called equips. What equips do is they give you pretty much bigger benefits to those exact stats I was talking about. So if you have a card that's strike, which is basically saying if you have a card that's melee, which is right here, so melee type, so it's going to buff that percentage, whatever it may be. So the best way to check that is to check what equips that you have currently going on. So for him, I have strike defense buff, special damage, ultimate, and Vantage Gauge. Vantage Gauge is basically when you're moving across the screen, it's going to be like this little white bar that lets you dodge attacks or not. So things like that are good to check out for. So you want to put on Z equips for characters that are either specific to that type or specific to what you feel like is probably going to be more beneficial for that character in the long haul. So for example, for the Goku, I have these 3 in particular just because I could always change this out really and throw something like that on. It'll probably be better for him. But shark attack, critical, and key restore, which key restore is always nice. Basically just means how much faster you can get back, so that was a good switch for me. For Broly, I have his exact stuff right here. So this one's literally just Broly specific, but it gives him, of course, these bigger buffs, things like that. So for equips now, they just released something recently. We'll actually go over here to show you what it is. Sorry about that. So basically, Beerus is seems like what's overall apparently a bad card. I enjoy him. I think he's really cool. I like his second super attack, and the fact that every time he goes into field he steals a card. I think that's pretty neat. It just helps out be a little bit more viable to certain things. But this right here, this little black equip. So it's the only equip of its type in the game. Just came out recently. This is basically like saying, hey, I'm gonna give you an equip specific to a character. It's gonna give him crazy buffs. This might be something to do in the future for other cards, who knows. But this is pretty much covering what I mean for equips, is that certain equips can be made for certain characters only, certain typings only. How would you know? It's going to say in the bottom, equip conditions. These two, or it could be dozens of other stuff, are very, very important. But this equip is crazy. If you happen to get a hold of this doing the cell games, put some stuff into it. See if you get a thing of good quality. So, sorry for like if you hear sniffling, by the way. Allergies are really terrible. Anyways, so this is basically just a little glimpse into something like that. Just building a team based off Z abilities is something you could obviously do, or you could build a team off typing. So what that would be is, for an example, let's say, where's it at? So say in Frieza Force, things like that, right? What you can do is you can kind of build mixed teams if you want, or you can do what I do, and sometimes I literally just go into PvP with the characters that I think are freaking cool. So most of the time, if that'll be the case, I love like I said, I love the God characters, and I love Kaioken Goku, and Super Saiyan 3 Goku's pretty cool too. So every now and then, I'll probably switch up the team, and I'll just run throughout it, and just have something that I enjoy using. I mean, if you're running into PvP, have fun, honestly. I mean, if you're gonna do ranked, then yeah, go ahead. If you want to go for them higher ranks, stuff like that, constantly fighting the same regeneration team over and over again, which has something to get into in a second. So we went over equips, we went over how to build a team based off Z abilities and stuff like that. Also, a thing to keep note of is how many stars they have is going to give you higher Z ability percentage, which means bigger buffs. It's pretty much the base of that. So some characters get they get a buff at 3, 5, or 7. There's some cards now that have been getting buffs at 3, like the 2 new cards that just came out. Let's check them out real quick. This is currently my let's do this. Cool. Okay, so this is currently what my deck looks like. So most of my characters are 498%. 498% is the highest percentage in the game. What does that mean? I'll show you. Soul boosting. Soul boosting is a thing to buff your characters. So for example, what makes this Broly basically better than like this Dr. Gero down there is the fact that he's Z boosted, and he also is a different word, I guess, or it says SP and the other one says HE. So before I go into what Z boosting is, there's Hero, Extreme, and Sparking. Hero is the first type of card. It's kind of like saying just rare. It's just like a normal card. There's nothing really special about it. Some hero cards are really good, some aren't. There's not really any good hero cards. Probably 3 or 4 I could take off the top of my head. Sorry. For extreme cards, on the other hand, it's a different story. For extreme cards, what you can do with those is there's some that are really good. Like for an example, this guy right here is absolutely insane. He's 498%, which is basically saying, just as a currently right now in the game, has all of his stats at the highest they can possibly be. So there's all this other stuff over here, which I'll get into in a little bit. But this is just an example of how good certain cards can be. Normally, extreme cards don't have the highest stats because of certain things, but some of these new ones that are coming out are kind of competing against that. Same thing as this Vegeta down here. So, Sparkings. Sparkingers are cards that either have crazy types of Z abilities, special unique abilities, which are only to that type of card, or they just have higher stats overall. So, what makes Broly crazy? Broly is a card that he's been out for a bit now, and he just has some things to him that make him, just a little good. So, for example, his main ability. Main abilities are in the bottom left of the screen. You're going to see in your character's face. You click on that, it's going to pop a Z ability. For him, he transforms into pretty much the fully enraged Broly from the movie that you've probably seen before. His Z ability, same thing that I mentioned, you build a team around that. If anything, currently, since he's at 5 stars, his Z ability gives him 26%. Normally, it's probably 20 or 24 or 22, even somewhere around there. And then his unique abilities. He actually has 2. So every time he pops into a battle, it says unfavorable element factors. That basically means, so the game runs off colors. So sorry. So blue hurts red, red hurts yellow, yellow hurts purple, and so forth. It's 5 colors that do that type of stuff. So what he does is every time there's a color that's going to hurt him, it doesn't hurt him. It's pretty much what that means. So, and some little extra buffs here and there. Every card has certain stuff that are different to it that make them better than others, or just make them more viable than certain. So that's why you want to build a team around either things that you enjoy, or a team around stuff like this to make things more simpler and easy for you. Besides that, Actually, look at this hero card. I have it down here. I didn't realize his stats were up there. So, soul boosting. This is the biggie. So, I'll actually do it on Cell because Cell's the newest character. Or I'll do Gohan. I just got Gohan recently. And he is not at 498%. So, basically, well, actually, we'll see. I should have some stuff to do that. So, what this does is it basically allows the character to get either more health, more defense, more critical, which is basically when you hit a character, it does more damage. Things that just buff him overall. So, for example, we're gonna put in as much. Oh, do I have much? Ah, cool. I was missing out on that one thing for some reason, I guess. I'm missing out on 2. Okay. Very specific. Very specific 3 that I'm missing out on. Okay. Cost 3 million to do that, and all those extra, all these orbs and stuff like that. His power level goes up. Now this basically just means that again he's gonna get stronger. He's gonna have a bigger health bar. He's gonna do more damage. He's gonna tank more, things like that. So it's just a little starter to some of the extra stuff that you can have. Strike levels basically meaning every time a card pops up on the field, because yes, when you're attacking there's cards to use, which I'll actually do a brief thing right now to give you an idea. So we'll do a quick story of it. I'm a little far into the story right now, and we'll use my my favorite team right now. Cool. Okay. So we will. We'll start with Beerus, cause I like Beerus. Beerus, I think he's at 498. I actually don't know. I probably got him to that just because of that special equip, which makes him more powerful. It has the highest stats, I think, for an equip in the game right now. I believe so, at least. So this basically, see, you have your cards that pop up on the field, and depending on your cards, you could do certain orders of attacks, things like that. So the thing is, I do not have a card or a color that's it's called Type Advantage, which basically means, and that's the Vantage gauge, by the way. And then how can I Vantage again? I can't because my bar is white. If it's red, you can't Vanish. So he's gonna take hit. So yeah, basically what it ends up being is a mixed match type of situation where you want to make sure that you're using the cards that you want to use to be safe against the characters that you want to fight against, or teams that you want to fight against to I wouldn't say last the longest, it's probably like the wrong phrase of it, but to make sure that you're getting like the best benefit. That's the main ability right there. Some main abilities are buff, some main abilities are special moves like this. What this does is it destroys a card on it then. So what I'm gonna do is switch up. And then pop his ability, which his ability is literally, like I said, it just buffs everything. It buffs his strike. Nothing. No special super attack. He's gonna take. He's just gonna get hit, I guess, bro. Since I don't have a blue card, this fight's gonna last a little longer than I would like it to. And then what we'll do is a Rising Rush. Rising Rush is basically when you do start an attack with cards, there's going to be a Dragon Ball on each card. After you do 7 of those, you get a Rising Rush. This is a Rising Rush. So what a Rising Rush is pretty much like a, I wouldn't say like a get out of jail free card, but it gives you one chance to do an extraordinary amount of damage if you guess your own card that's not the same card that the other opponent guesses. What's cool about that is that if you wanted to, you saw how 4 cards popped up on a screen. If you want, basically the card you pick is the attack that he doesn't do. So if let's say for example you have 2 strike cards, a Ki Blast, which is that right there, and a super attack. If you press the Ki Blast, he'll do 2 melee attacks, and then he'll do the ultimate attack. So that's just something to keep into note. It's not something that they really ever show. Don't know why, honestly. I mean, it could have been obvious, but I honestly didn't realize that until not that long ago. I've been playing this game for a while. That's another main ability. It's another super attack. It's really, really, really gorgeous. And it ends it on that, which is pretty nice. So that's an idea, just a little gist of fighting. Of course, you could build a better team to do more damage and stuff like that, but this is very later into the story, so there's characters have bigger health bars, and if I had a blue card, I would have finished that a long time ago, honestly. So Besides that, we have that covered. Most of the little extra stuff that I mentioned so far, equips, Z abilities, things along those lines. And how do you get cards? You summon. Pretty much, if you've ever played a mobile game before where you have certain stuff to get characters, it's pretty much the same thing. So, the cool thing though is once you start getting characters, summoning and stuff like that, you have plenty of story events, things that you can do here to buff some of the characters you may get. You have your other stuff here if you're running out of materials or if you need money or experience for characters, you can do that as well, which I highly suggest is to really farm super XP right now as of today's date, March 15th. You want to make sure that using this as much as you can to get certain characters up in level. To give you an example, actually no, I'm not gonna do it because actually, wait, was he on the team there? He's 17. So basically, this feature go on right here to the right, the yellow card, that one. If I were to do this mission, he would hit 1500, which is basically every time you level up a card, it goes 1 to 300, 300 to 600, 6 to 1000, 1000 to 15, and then 15 to 2000. That's the newest. That's the newest cap right now. Every time you level them up, of course, they get more stronger, and most of the time, in most situations, you want your cards to be 2000. So, in order for you to have your cards at 2000, you either need straining materials, which would be stuff like these. Bells, don't use bells. Keep bells I keep bells for cards that I want to be 2000 so I could use them that day. If not, then definitely use these cards. Take advantage of this ×2 everything right now, because it doesn't come around very often, but when it does, trust me, it helps out everything. Normally these trading missions are 3 hours a piece, so since I have 215, actually, I need to get him to level. So basically, I would use that, get Gohan to level, and then put Gohan in that training for that, and then wait an hour and a half, and then he's level 2000 for an hour at least. So since everything's bonus currently. So of course you have PvP, by the way. PvP is fun in my opinion. It's pretty cool. I mean, it really just depends how, if you're like very competitive for just any game really, or if you're just competitive overall, you could build a little team around this and pretty much use it to your degree. I will say, if you're going into PvP, try to put one of each color typing to be cautious, and then put a secondary typing of another card, maybe another card that you like or that's really has high stats, so that you're staying competitive to that degree. So besides that, I think that's off the top of my mind pretty much most of the stuff that I'm thinking about. I mean, if there's anything that I'm missing, I'll probably think about it or address it in the future. That's the gist of many things. You have your shop, you have your adventures. So adventures are pretty much once you do like certain missions in a game, or you're doing PvP, you're gonna get these stuff here. You can click accept, and then it's gonna say, hey, yellow or blue. If you put yellow or blue, you have a higher chance of getting certain stuff. So here's what I'll do. I'll put yellow and blue. Right? It's gonna cost 3,000, but I have 28 million or 20 something like that. Now I wait 30 minutes. In 30 minutes, what's gonna end up happening is I'm gonna get a certain amount of money back from that. There's different types of these, but the Brilliant City is money based. So different adventures give you different stuff, of course. So you have your event, adventure, train, customized shop, which is like using real money to buy basically these Chronos crystals, which is what you summon off of. Your characters, PvP, I went to that, events, story mode, of course. So far that's pretty much it. For equips, you have to upgrade equips. So you go to equipment upgrade, it's going to show you, you're going to, like for example, you're going to click on one, it's going to cost you this and this much money, and then it will boost it up a certain percentage. Each equip has different percentages and stuff like that. That's another thing to look into. That's just another part of the game when it comes to like actually getting to that. If you feel like you get to that at one point, then that's cool. I'm losing my voice, which sucks. So besides that, everything's there. Yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. That's Dragon Ball Legends. Honestly, it's a super fun game. Check it out, mobile. You can play it on iOS, Android, things like that. I enjoyed it a lot. I think it's pretty good if you're a Dragon Ball fan, anyone's a Dragon Ball fan, and you've ever played a mobile game before. I haven't. Even if you haven't, I say definitely give it a try. Because if you really like Dragon Ball, it has a bunch of, some of the coolest characters in Dragon Ball currently right now. There's a lot of characters that they add very often, very spontaneously. So, for an example, they just added this Perfect Cell and this Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. I would say, oh damn, Gohan's right here. I just gave him some stats a little bit ago. So they just added those two, like, I'd say 2-3 days ago. Nah, Monday. So yeah, very, very, very recently. So definitely check it out. It's super fun. Again, you can build your team. You saw how the action is. It can get a little bit more crazier. So to end the video, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you guys summoning. So normally summoning, you're going to need a certain amount of chrono crystals, which is what it's called, or CC. If you want to get specific, I am sniffling and it's crazy. So I want step 5. So basically, there's different banners. Different banners means you can get different cards. So on this banner, I can get I have a chance of getting some of these cards, a chance of getting these cards, and so forth. But as of right now, what I'm sitting at is 1,000. So what I'm gonna do is summon on the newest banner. Maybe I can try to get another cell or even a Lord Slug, because I don't have Slug. If I did, then honestly that would be pretty sweet. That's another character I can use. I have most of the characters in the game at this point, honestly, because I've been playing and I've been summoning for a while now. So we'll do it. We'll see if we get anybody. Yeah, 17 days left for this to disappear. Downloading, so there's a very, very high chance I'm getting one of the 2 new cards. I forget honestly to do anything about that, so that's my fault, I guess. But we'll see. It's either the brand new Trunks or the brand new Lord Slug. It's Slug. The letters mean different things, by the way. The letters means that you're gonna, depending on the color of the letters, you're gonna get a certain type of character. Since the color is that like golden type of font, it means I'm getting one of the new Sparkings, which is the highest rating in the game. It's also the lead for the you call it banner, so that should be Slug. Actually, I just got played, bro. Okay, I never had that card, so I'm guessing I got him instead. That's cool. That's all right with me. Still a new Sparking. It still shows you a card that I never had before. I'm not bad about that. That's cool. I have a free summon. I didn't know that. Okay, so let's see. Restore on health by 30%. Okay. And then his ability, like I mentioned. So if I use him on a yellow team, which is that color, he's gonna buff their defense. Wait, he's gonna buff their strike. Their strike and blast attack, basically. Okay, that's cool. And then his stuff, basically, his extra stuff. Cool. Each character has different card art. Does he have card art, bro? Depending on what you do, depends on the card art does. But I don't think he should. He's a Sparking. All Sparkings have card art. Anyways, I have a free summon, so let's do it. Let's see if I get anything. I didn't think I was gonna get a free summon. It could be nothing. It could be something, I guess. So this is pretty much gonna change every time that you do a summoning animation. By the way, you're gonna see they sometimes do different stuff. Again, the text is different. That could be better. Could be worse. Who knows? Normally, depending on what you might get, it might be an indication if you get something else. It blows up in his face, so I might get nothing. Who knows? So that's extreme. That orb, see, turns into Sparking. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Cool. That's called a fake out. That's an extreme. So it's hero extreme Sparking. You can tell by the color of the orb. So I got a Sparking out of that. Maybe one I could use. Honestly, I don't know. That Broly I haven't touched in a very long time. Because I got the other 2 Broly's, which are better. Yeah. So there you go. And then like I said, I could do one more and get a freebie, which basically means I have a chance of getting one of these guys, maybe him again. So there you go. That's pretty much the gist of more or less Legends. I kind of try to compact everything into a video, and instead of like splitting it up and stuff like that. If there's anything that I did miss, sorry for the little blabber, just let me know. I'll definitely check about it, see if I find anything. And if you guys have any questions, comments, or if you want to correct me on anything, honestly feel free to. I'm not gonna be mad. I like learning. So take care, peace, and enjoy.